Get ready for a full analysis that will leave you hopeful, because you will discover how the Commanders finalized their coaching staff by hiring Ben Steele, a high-level tight ends coach with a proven track record working with Trey McBride. But it doesn't stop there. We'll dive into how David Ray's promotion to aerial game coordinator proves that Dan Quinn is fully committed to supporting David Blau and surrounding him with a solid team. And there's more. You will understand why Zach Ertz, despite recovering from a serious ACL injury, can still return to the Commanders as a reliable Plan B. Stay tuned until the end, because every detail is crucial for the future of the Commanders. And of course, don't forget to leave a like. It's just a click, it's quick, and it's all I ask. The Washington Commanders finalized their coaching staff after a complete overhaul this offseason, with the last vacant position strategically filled. As a fan who follows every move, I know these hires are crucial for future success. It was announced on Friday that tight ends coach David Ray was promoted to aerial game coordinator, while Brian Johnson was hired by Cliff Kingsbury to join the Los Angeles Rams coaching staff. Now, the Commanders needed a tight ends coach and hired one of the best in the league, with a proven history of player development. The Commanders have hired tight ends coach Ben Steele to fill an open position on the coaching staff. The Commanders had one more position coach vacancy after Rye's promotion, and it didn't take long to fill it, even finding a quality coach at this point in the preseason. It has been reported that the Commanders hired Ben Steele, former tight ends coach of the Arizona Cardinals, for the same position in Washington. Steele will work with Rye going forward, and both will help implement David Blau's new offensive scheme in the tight ends group. The primary tight end position will be the main focus this offseason, with a significant gap in the position that needs to be filled. The Commanders need to find a new receiver for Jaden Daniels, but they also need to develop their own group of young talent. Ben Steele will play an important role this preseason and in the coming years. Steele has worked with one of the best young tight ends the NFL has ever seen, Trey McBride, and it is expected that he can bring that development to Washington. McBride set the record for most receptions in a single season for a tight end last season with an impressive 126 receptions. This was the second consecutive season in which he surpassed the 100 reception mark, another NFL record, which earned him All-Pro selection. The Commanders also boast young talent at the tight end position, with Ben Sinnott being a second-round draft pick. Colson Yankoff is showing flashes of potential that can be developed under Steele's guidance. The best-case scenario for the Commanders is for Steele to develop Sinnott into a really solid TE2, while Adam Peters turns him into a real vertical threat for the offense this offseason. The new offensive scheme will be similar to what was used by Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell, and we have already seen what Sam Laporta and Colston Loveland did in that system. And now, get ready to understand Dan Quinn's strategy. You will discover how David Ray's promotion to aerial game coordinator proves that Quinn is fully committed to supporting David Blau and surrounding him with a solid support team. The Washington Commanders wasted no time in finding their new passing game coordinator and is strategically promoting tight ends coach David Rye to the position. This report, initially revealed by NFL Network reporters Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero, is the latest piece in the puzzle about the Commanders' future in 2026. The preseason has already proven to be extremely busy with significant changes to the coaching staff. Washington had remained relatively quiet about the situation in this position until it was revealed that assistant coach and passing game coordinator Brian Johnson had left the team. Johnson joined the Los Angeles Rams coaching staff shortly before the NFL scouting combine began at the end of February. Head coach Dan Quinn acknowledged the curiosity about where all the changes will lead, following a 2025 preseason without firings, and now this preseason with so many changes to the coaching staff. For sure, it will be an interesting one, Quinn said, referring not only to the Commanders' situation, but to the entire league. Surrounding Blau with support is the top priority for Quinn and Peters. Before the news of Rye's promotion, Quinn shared with us at this week's Combine his clear vision. We have people we've talked to for this position. As passing game coordinator, my role is basically to support David, Quinn explained clearly. As ideas change, where they're going, and thus anticipating what we need to improve, where are we headed? It's an assistant position that requires a lot of support, not only for the offensive coordinator, but also for the skill players, Quinn continued. General Manager Adam Peters declined to go into many details about the coaching staff, but stated his clear position. What we really want is to ensure that David Blau is surrounded by as many people as possible who can help him, so he has every chance to succeed. So yes, we will do that, Peters said with conviction. A reputation for preparation is what David Rye brings to this new position. As Washington's tight ends coach for the past 2 seasons, Rye has worked extensively with veterans Zach Ertz and John Bates. He has also worked with younger and less experienced players like Ben Sinnott, Colson Yankoff, and Lawrence Cager. He has built a reputation as one of the most dedicated and energetic coaches on the team. Coach Rye shared about Ertz during the 2025 season. He pushes me, encourages me, finds the little details we can improve on, so I think I owe a lot of my success last year to him. In a previous conversation with the coach, he shared a bit of his mentality about the game. The better you are, the better you need to be. So what we do is analyze each skill individually, break them down into a manageable set, and then we just work and dedicate ourselves to all of them, Rai said. The last time I spoke with Rai, the coach shared that he believes in the importance of being present every day. Players deserve to have answers to their questions when it comes to game strategies, and the best will have many of them, so he feels it's better to be prepared to answer them or to find them, Rai explained. This approach has been very beneficial for him as the Commanders' tight ends coach. Before this, he worked as a coach on teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Green Bay Packers. By focusing his efforts on finding solutions for his players, he will now have an even greater role in assisting new offensive coordinator David Blau. As another promising coach in the NFL, he is expected to explore new strategies never before seen in Washington football. And now to close with the truth about Zach Ertz. You will understand why the veteran tight end, despite recovering from a serious ACL injury, may still return to the Commanders as a reliable Plan B this offseason. The Washington Commanders preseason has already been marked by many changes in the coaching staff and the roster, with many more to come in the coming months. The offense has been the most affected sector by the changes, with the arrival of David Blau as the new offensive coordinator who has built a young team around him. The Commanders also surprised everyone by releasing Tyler Biadasz, and that's just the beginning of the madness. Before making moves in free agency, the Commanders needed to finalize the coaching staff, which took a big step forward after the replacement of an important assistant coach. Among the many decisions that the Washington Commanders need to make in the 2026 offseason, the team needs to decide what to do at the tight end position, even though the current starter is recovering from a serious knee injury. John Keim of ESPN predicts that Zach Ertz could still keep his role on the team based on internal information. The Commanders are looking to reinforce the tight end position in free agency, but are not completely discounting Ertz, according to Keim. Washington sees the 35-year-old player as a strong Plan B, which depends on his recovery. Washington still intends to sign a tight end in free agency, whether it's someone like Isaiah Likely or Chig Okonkwo, Keim said. But they are happy with what they already have at the position and don't want to overspend. Part of that is due to Ertz. Washington knows that if they still need a tight end at the start of the season, they can always renew his contract. Ertz will turn 36 in November and is recovering from a serious injury, but the Commanders say that his game does not rely on speed. Therefore, they believe he can still be efficient. And do you know what else doesn't hinder? For the last 2 years, he has been an excellent passing option for quarterback Jayden Daniels. Ertz suffered the injury in the Commanders' defeat to the Minnesota Vikings in Week 14 in a devastating manner. He was hit in the lower body by a high pass from Marcus Mariota, and the replay footage immediately suggested an ACL tear. Given his age, many wondered if the injury suffered at the end of the season would be the end of Ertz's career. However, the 13-year veteran confirmed that he intends to continue playing as soon as he completes his full rehabilitation. The situation of the Commanders' tight ends amid Zach Ertz's injury is complex. Although Ertz becomes a free agent for the third consecutive season, Washington still has 2 other tight ends under contract in 2026. The team offered John Bates a 3-year contract extension before the start of the 2025 season, and former second-round pick Ben Sinnott remains in the team's plans. However, neither Bates nor Sinnott were effective receivers after the Commanders lost Ertz for the rest of the season. Sinnott made only 7 receptions in 4 games without Ertz, while Bates managed 3 receptions in his place. Given the situation, the tight end position will be among the first that Washington will reinforce in free agency. The team can afford to wait to assess Ertz before potentially renewing his contract at the end of the offseason. Hey there, fan. After finding out that Ben Steele has been hired as the tight ends coach bringing experience with Trey McBride, understanding that David Ray has been promoted to air game coordinator to support David Blau, and knowing that Zach Ertz might return as a reliable Plan B despite the ACL injury. Which of these decisions makes you the most hopeful for 2026? Do you believe that Ben Steele will be able to develop Ben Sinnott into an elite tight end like he did with McBride, or would it be smarter to invest heavily in a top tight end in free agency?